If you're a regular access viewer, you'll know there's a special place in our heart for games we can play together. There's not a cool name for this really. Local, couch, sometimes co-op, fun multiplayer games is about as catchy as it gets. But we wanted to make a video highlighting how many of these awesome games there are available on PS4. And so we have. A warning, this video doesn't include Minecraft, FIFA Co-op Seasons, Little Big Planet 3, the Lego games and quite a few other obvious choices. We're going to go ahead and assume you know they're all brilliant and instead dig a little deeper to find some local, couch, sometimes co-op, fun multiplayer games you might not have found otherwise. It's a voyage of discovery and it begins with
Sports Friends! Sports Friends is a huge access favourite, and it's not just one game, it's 4, and actually, as we'll show you in a minute, 6. These are simple, fast, fun games. I've played all of them in the office, with my friends, with family at get-togethers, and every time everyone is laughing and shouting in seconds. There's Barra-Barry Ball, in which 2 to 4 players fight to drown a ball on the opponent's side of the screen with a strategic use of 5 rechargeable jumps. There's Super Pole Riders, where 2 to 4 players pole vault frantically to kick a balloon along a rope, scoring points when it reaches their opponent's end of the screen. There's Johann Sebastian Joust, which doesn't even use a TV, it's just a game of space and timing, in which 2 to 4 players have to keep their controllers still while trying to shove or surprise the others into moving theirs. And there's Hokra, probably the best of them all, a basic, brilliant King of the Hill game where 2 teams of 2 have to hold possession of a ball, which is really just a pixel, in their coloured zone until they reach the target. All of which would make Sports Friends the ultimate PS4 party game even if it didn't have 2 secret games, which it does. Press up, right, down, left, X on the main menu for get on top, a maddening one-on-one wrestling bout, and up, down, left, right, circle to play flop, which we have always called wobbly bats in the office, and which is really just Pong with wobbly bats.
From a super competitive game, we move to a super cooperative game. There is nothing else on PS4 like Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, a title which 100% does not convey what this game is about. Otherwise it would be called fun, arcadey, 4-player ship control game with guns and shields, which admittedly might not fit on the store. But that's what we have here, a gloriously simple but challenging test of teamwork, with players dashing from station to station in their spacecraft, aiming weapons, placing deflector shields, and rescuing some kind of cosmic love bunnies along the way. This is colourful, accessible, but you know, I also played it with Nath for hours and had a great time.
Next on the list we have Overcooked, which is a bit like Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time in that it involves up to 4 players running around a tiny space and will probably end with you shouting at each other. Overcooked can be played co-op or competitively and is about preparing, cooking and serving ingredients in some of the most bizarrely designed kitchens you'll ever see. It sounds simple, but when there are 4 of you rushing about with chopped tomatoes and the unofficial one-way system is broken down and the steak is on fire and you're actually on a motorway, things get real super quickly.
We have a more traditional option for our next choice, Rayman Legends, a platformer so good it can legitimately stand up to the very best in the genre's all-time list. Legends is a beautiful mix of lush, vibrant backgrounds and characters with endlessly innovative gameplay that makes it just a joy to interact with. Up to 4 players can join in for same-screen platforming. Lagging players do get left behind, but then become balloons, which is sort of nice. Either way, this is jubilant, heartwarming, classic gaming.
Which can't really be said of Nidhogg, which is just weird and brilliant. Nidhogg is a lo-fi fencing game with a simple to grasp but impressively deep fighting mechanic, all about getting close enough to strike the first blow and win the right to run to the next screen. Dead players respawn in the path of their enemy, making for epic back and forth battles, and of course the ultimate winner is eaten by a giant worm. Basically, Nidhogg feels like the 5th giant reptile god-appeasing sword fighting game that Sports Friends never had. Weird, but definitely high praise.
Speaking of sports, next on our list is a relatively recent discovery, the merciless dodgeball arena of Stickbold. Up to 4 players can play, in teams or all against all, on a series of increasingly hazardous levels. Don't ask why you're playing dodgeball on a storm-hit oil rig, just avoid the whales. With eliminated players staying involved thanks to bizarre off-court weaponry. All very frantic, but Stickbold's real strength is that it balances the mayhem with a need for proper precision, making matches feel skillful as well as fast and furious.
One of the most enjoyable series we've made on Access was when we played the crafting survival game Don't Starve a couple of years back. Well, now it's been updated with co-op play in the form of Don't Starve Together, which has all the desperate digging for food, scrambling to build shelter, and terrified running away from monsters, but in split screen. This is a more in-depth co-op experience with fairly complex crafting options and loads of exploring and experimenting to do in order to understand the world, but it's also hugely rewarding and, like everything, way more fun with a friend.
Towerfall Ascension is another of the classic Access multiplayer lineup. We keep going back to it because, man, Towerfall Ascension is so good. And it's simple too, a single screen 2D arena battler with up to 4 players shooting arrows at each other as they jump and dodge around the level while trying to find power-ups to tip the balance. It's a game of anticipation, quick reactions, you can catch enemy arrows if you're fast enough, and again, of real skill. There's a little aiming assistance on regular arrows, but it's mostly down to you to outmaneuver opponents and take advantage of the openings. There's a campaign that can be played cooperatively, but the real joy of Towerfall is super fast competitive gaming and then watching the replay to find out what the hell just happened.
And so to finish, look, I know we said we wouldn't have any really obvious choices, but we also really couldn't leave out Rocket League, because it's Rocket League, the football with jumping cars smash hit that came from nowhere, or more specifically PlayStation Plus, to change multiplayer gaming on PS4. It's a game of speed, of accuracy, of trying to ram a ball into a goal and missing quite a lot, and pulling off amazing moves and really meaning it and wanting there to be someone who saw it. And guess what? In split screen, there always is. So there's our list of fun games you can play together on PS4. Let us know in the comments if you've had fun with any of these. Give us a like because that's always nice, and subscribe for loads more videos from the world of PlayStation.